Good morning, everybody. Well, there are no jokes. This is a serious situation today. It's kind of weird going through this whole thing where like my shtick has been making fun of the news, and we just can't make fun of anything now. Of course, if you've been sleeping under a rock, come over here to the charts. Russia has invaded Ukraine. There have been sightings of battle in Kiev. So this is the full mobilization attack scenario. The one that poll after poll after poll that we did here on this channel, the channel did not believe would happen. So what needs to happen here for us, right? We need a reality adjustment, right? Come back to the charts. S&P 500 taking a pretty big dive when when Putin announced that, basically declared war. It wasn't a declaration of war, but he basically announced military operations. The same thing at this point. It's the 21st century version of declaring war. The treasuries, as a result, have popped back up. It's actually surprisingly not as high as... It's actually not that bad, but we are at like 1.885 now on the 10-year yield. So oil is just, woo, look, there we go. They touched 100. They touched 100. I should have bought the different options, right? I should have bought April options, maybe, right? Well, that's okay. I still own the silver. Woohoo! Oh, yeah. That's good. Okay, so... then we come over to natural gas. Natural gas actually not taking off. So again, I believe that the U.S. administration did some work to provide alternative natural gas supplies to Europe, including, shipping it overseas. And that appears to be working. I mean, the price is holding okay. Okay, copper actually took a spike overnight. That's interesting. So I may not be able to use copper as the same kind of a signal as I normally do because they're taking off here off of this. But maybe they just think that building materials are going to become more in demand. I don't know. And then we've got to come over here to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has not touched a new low, but given the situation, I would have to think that 30K is only a hop and a skip away. And the dollar finally blowing up here above $97. Well, not dollars, I guess, points, whatever. The dollar index is above 97. All right. Putin can't keep getting away with this. Well, here's the thing. Here, if I can try and offer some solace, or glimmer of hope in this situation, Putin appears to me to be extremely cunning when it comes to international politics and war. The way that he pulled off this whole operation is just dastardly but masterful. And he, as soon as Biden said we're not going to put U.S. troops in Ukraine, that was it, man. That was all he needed to know. But here's the thing. He is a complete fucking idiot when it comes to markets and free markets and capitalism and all of the other things. And he has made a grave mistake, right? This is the Russian stock market is down like 40-50% now at this point. The last report that I heard when I was reading Twitter this morning in the shower was that Europe is not cutting Russia off from SWIFT yet because they want to get all of their money back out. But pretty much all money in Russia is going to flee the country now. Like, they've got nothing. And sanctions are going to be coming, more serious sanctions. Russia should be completely cut off from the rest of the world. You read, oh yeah, I totally read Twitter in the shower, dude. How do you think I come in here and actually know stuff before I start speaking to you? I read the morning news squawk and I check out Reddit and all, I got all my news sources to get whatever I think I can. Now, here's the thing. It's there's kind of good news and bad news about all this. I mean, the bad news is obviously that there's a war and that sucks. Okay. The good news is that there's a really big risk event unknown in the market that has been resolved for us. Okay. So we can adjust now. I don't know if that helps us too much or not, because I mean, um, what are going to be the further impetuses from here? That's really difficult to sort out, you know? How do you guys know all this stuff? And it's like Twitter, guys, Facebook is shit. It's true, Uzi, right? If you want to know what's going on right now, you have to use Twitter, which kind of sucks because Twitter is has been censoring a lot of stuff. But thank you very much, Dennis. We're talking about the Ukrainian war. Where you been, IQ? There you see, IQ is an obviously not reading Twitter. Oh, hey, you know what? We should multi-stream to share vision, don't you think? Let me do that. Let me do that. Oh, you've been traveling? Okay, no. So let me repeat for your sake. Russia has embarked on a full-on invasion of Ukraine. There have been reports of fighting in Kiev. They are attacking border stations. It is just the whole kit and caboodle, right? I don't know how else to put it, man. How do I get the oh, there we go. Oh, is this your second day? I appreciate it. I'm glad to know that a bunch of people, we saw a lot of new people come in yesterday, and I'm glad that, some of them, because, well, I'll show you something here in a bit. I'm gonna start streaming there. This is gonna be interesting. Anyways, so as I was saying, what are the next set of orders? What is the next thing that happens that creates orders, and what does it do? And I don't know. Like, here's the thing. This is exactly why I have taught you guys the way that I have, right? You know what moves markets. This is a situation where it's possible that no one living really has experience, like knows what's going to happen here, right? Were you around when World War II started? I mean, it's like that kind of a situation. And what the impact that this has on markets is like anybody's guess. But here's the thing. I taught you, you guys know what to do. Go and make me proud, right? Now, that doesn't mean go and put on a lot of crazy risk here. Okay? I'm probably just going to sit out. I own silver. I'm hedged. I should be okay. And we can kind of let them do their thing and pick up the pieces later, right? That's my thinking. Would have been nice to have gone short. I know there were probably some people here on the stream that have probably gone short. There was a few of you that thought that it was just going to escalate. I don't know. We had a couple of different arguments with people, and I just want to reiterate that the argument I've been making is that we have no fucking clue what's going on. We have no clue what's going on. Hey, yesterday had a coworker was saying, it's not gonna happen. And I'm like, well, 48 hours isn't very long. This morning, I'm very interested to see what he says. You're surprised how well the market hasn't opened yet, so you don't really get to see necessarily all of the prices yet, right? I live in the Baltics. People think we should be up next for Putin. I wonder if I should start packing my bags. So are you in a NATO country? Because the United States and NATO have made it extremely clear. Should we say extremely clear? I don't know what the right adjective is in there, but they've made it clear that they will defend NATO countries. So if you are in a NATO country, I don't think that you have anything to fear, and there's no reason for you to move. Now, okay, so what's the next thing that's going to happen? I do know one thing. NATO is having a meeting, and after which the Biden administration will announce more sanctions and stuff. Okay, so that's the next big event that we have to look forward to. I don't know when that happens. I don't know what time that's going to be. It may well be here this morning though. I don't know, but that's the next thing that we got to look out for, and that's here. Like if we're short, if you were lucky enough to have been short through all of this, I think that these prices right here are a good time to take some profits, perhaps, because I wouldn't count out the possibility of a really strong market rally when Biden speaks, right? Mhm. Texas, I'd rather Texas isn't that bad crypto, I promise. In fact, if you're from a Baltic country, you might find Texas endearing, might remind you a little bit of home. Be long ZB flight to safety. Well, I really think. Okay, granted, let me just come back to the volume profile. And listen, I'm not giving financial advice. You gotta be really careful when I'm talking about a specific person and a specific trade and all of that sort of a thing. But the way that I positioned myself was I was long silver. Okay, and you come over here and you look at the treasury. Okay, like that's a big move up, but like on a relative basis compared to where we were, we're still coming back to like where we were before that CPI. We haven't touched the non-farms number yet, right? So the treasuries, there is flight to safety going on here, but it's not that extreme. And then you come over here and you look at gold. Holy shit, right? Oh wait, I'm not showing the right screen. Right? Here's the treasury. Here's gold and silver. I mean, come on. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? I think that the best hedge here is gold. And if I was going to actively trade something right now, I think I would probably go to gold if I wasn't a pussy. If the dictator goes after a NATO country, the world is pretty much screwed. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'm not a military expert. I would like to think that well, so the first thing is Ukraine is being very what is the word? Defiant. That's right. Ukraine is being very defiant. They said that any Ukrainian citizen that shows them a passport will be given a weapon. That's what Ukraine said. Um, they are fighting. By the way, guys, do not post any information about the location or activity of Ukrainian forces. If it's the Russians, share it all you want, okay? But do not share any information about the whereabouts or activities of Ukrainian forces, okay? Crypto has officially confirmed its status as not a flight to safety. Yeah, well, listen, when the pandemic happened, I think that was when crypto officially confirmed its status as not a flight to safety, right? And here in this past year, I think that crypto has officially confirmed its status as not an effective inflation hedge. At least not an effective inflation hedge in all situations, right? Yeah, BC geotags. They're saying like do not take videos of Ukrainian forces. Do not keep like you don't record it and keep it on your phone or anything like that. Okay? Like the Russians can hack that shit. Just don't share it, right? But we can track the Russians all you want. Shall we? I think we need a map. I wonder what the best way to do this is. I need like a giant picture or something. You can see my wonderful little city. Over to Ukraine. Anyway, just make it like full screen here. A full screen picture. of a Ukraine. Oh, we want Sevastopol. Um, I think it's gonna have to be that. And can I take layers, show imagery? Where's my layers? Layers, there we go. Okay, layers. I want terrain, not traffic, transit. Like, we got like way more layers than that, right? Hmm. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to do it like that. Does Ukraine even have a chance? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Wish I knew. I hope they do. I'm rooting for them 100%. They're being defiant, though. They're not going to just take it laying down. The Russians haven't like completely taken over yet, so that I suppose is encouraging, right? Of course, World War III has to start on a rollover day, right? Dude, this rollover has made things confusing, hasn't it? Okay, so let's restore that down and let's put this into Affinity Photo. Do you think that NATO is going to attack? Oh, but why do I need to turn on my new squawk here? Let's make sure that's. Let's see here. The size of the stockpile release will likely be larger than the November sale and will potentially involve more sweet barrels this time around. So we probably should be seeing oil take a dive here, right? No, maybe not. Hmm. Okay, so let's make it this size. Control V. Oh, can I turn off the stupid map details? Well, I'll at least turn off the map details. Okay. Okay. And we probably can probably make it a little bit bigger here. Like that. We can at least cover that up, right? Da, 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 da. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now we need to make this line a little stronger. And NATO has to do something, or else Russia will invade Russia. It's not Russia; it's Ukraine. They're a separate people. Listen, they were a separate people. Yes, there was a regime change in Ukraine in the last decade. The last president was pretty popular and had the support of the people, and it is absolutely abhorrent what Russia is doing here. Completely unprovoked attack. Completely unprovoked attack. Right? Okay, so how do we do this, boys? Let's get a paint bucket here and let's just like paint stuff black, yeah? Oh wait, what am I doing? No, not set fill, not like that. I want it to be like, how do I And delete that back image. What is the motive for Russia behind this? Well, so if we come back to our map here and you kind of look at things, okay? Um, First of all, Ukraine gives them significant access to the Black Sea, which then gives them access to, ports all over here. Of course, Russia has, St. Petersburg, for instance, but like nobody wants to go up there. It's too cold. Ships don't like going up there. So they have this whole shipping lane here through Ukraine. And then of course, you can push oil through here more easily. But then if there was ever any kind of a conflict with Europe, right? Like you have to go through Ukraine. It's just Ukraine has significant strategic significance. And obviously, I don't think that there's ever going to be like a full on war between Russia and Europe, but I also think that a lot of it is just Putin's ego. Like, Putin is mad about basically the way that the fall of the Soviet Union went down. He thinks that all of these countries here, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, they think that really they're all part of Russia. And Lavrov is speaking right now, apparently. A nuclear strike is the equivalent. Well, they said that if the here's the thing is that they've said if the United States gets involved, then we'll use nuclear weapons. So now you can't. Now you can't. I really think that Biden made some tactical blunders here, man. He should have never have said anything. He should never have said anything. Or if he did say anything, he should say we're going to help Ukraine in any way that is necessary. But whatever. There's been this whole argument online about what would Trump have been different. One can't help but notice that when Obama was president, right? When Obama was president, Russia did stuff. They did stuff down here in Georgia, for instance. They took stuff over here, right? And then Donald Trump is president for 4 years. Nothing happens. By the way, the Trump administration imposed sanctions on Russia and took actions against Russia. I pulled up this document earlier. There was like 52 different times that they took action in regards to Russia from the Trump administration. So the Trump administration was actually apparently more harder on Russia than Obama was. So would Trump have done things differently? I guess we'll never know. I don't know if it's a question that's really all that useful right now, but that's kind of the thing. So we're going to be interesting to see here the politics of 3 weeks from now we get all of the polling back, how this affects Joe Biden's approval numbers. Because I mean, so here's one thing is like one of the tactics that they were doing here was they knew what Russia was going to do, and so they just kind of put it out in the public. And then Russia, so my understanding now is that Russia was going to invade when the administration originally said, and they delayed it to try and undermine confidence in American intelligence, right? But all they did was delay it. So really, in the end, everything happened exactly the way that U.S. intelligence said they would. I not necessarily ever doubt U.S. intelligence as much as it was like, well, that might be what the intelligence indicates right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Russia is going to be crazy enough to actually do it, But it did end up happening in the end, right? Now we're kind of like, they were 100% right, So that was one of the things that Joe did. Was that the right way to handle it? I mean, he could have taken other strategies, right? There are other strategies. What would have been the best one or not? This is not my area of expertise. If Trump was in Moscow, they would have 2 fat atomic bombs heading their way today. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know for sure, but I would like to believe that, um, Trump would be assisting Ukraine in any way possible. I think that he was friendly with Ukraine and he wanted to help them, and, you know, Putin is being so childish. It's sad, really. I agree. I don't know what it's like to wake up and have the ability to wage war anywhere close to me, but it's so unnecessary. It really is like this preemptive strike thing is really just quite crazy, isn't it? So what do I got to do to get a okay, so first of all, why is it doing that? I don't know how to use my program apparently. Why it is me trying to set a color, setting everything desaturated? What if I just come over to this? Cool. That works. So then how come when I come over here and I try and fill in an area, nothing happens? Normal, source, current layer, tolerance, 100%. Should be like I don't know how to use the flood tool. Is this whole invasion thing, listen, CryptoPop, nothing is priced in. That's not how the market works. Pricing in is a really good framework to use for trying to anticipate, for instance, economic releases and things like that. But what is going to matter is the orders, right? In a situation like this, it doesn't matter what the market prices in. When it goes from an unknown to a known, people are going to take trades off of it, and it's going to have an impact. So the real question we should be asking is, are all of the orders that are going to be placed in regards to a Ukraine Russia war, have they already all hit the market? And I have to say, probably not. Probably we will continue to see a lot of more crazy stuff happening when the S&P 500 opens up today. What happens after they invade Ukraine? Well, hopefully nothing else, right? Hopefully nothing else. But I don't know. I don't know what I mean, the concern is that they attack a NATO ally, and that NATO gets involved. But presumably, right now, I think that the base case needs to be that Russia just takes over all of Ukraine, and then that's it. But Ukraine's not just going to sit down, right? Like they're giving a weapon to everybody that will take one. So, like, I'm sure that Russia will probably, take over a lot of territory and stuff, but it will just be a really extended war. Maybe I should be trying to do this in a program that I understand a little bit better because I don't know why the fill's not working. No. All I know is if you're on the right side of this crisis, a lot of money will be made. Hmm. Okay. My new squawk is just giving me stats on the possibility of a 50 basis point rate hike now, essentially saying that the market is pricing the chances of a rate hike much smaller now, which I think is appropriate. Okay, there we go. Now we got that. And now let's use the fill tool to gray out non-Russia. Aha. And we reduce the tolerance. Not what I was hoping for. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fill this layer in. We're gonna make this layer black. And then we're gonna change this layer to be apparently over the newswire air sirens in Kiev at the moment. Okay. And then where's my tool? Eraser. Make this brush really big. Dun, 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 dun. And we'll zoom in and we'll get the exact borders a little bit better. All right. So when people finally react on news, market ready to move on the next day. Is it a smart idea to buy puts as soon as the market opens? I don't know. Like you're asking me. You can't ask the question in that form because you're essentially asking me to give you financial advice. I can't do that. I think that there probably will be some selling on the open. Yeah. Whether that is a wise time to sell or not, I'm not sure. I have to say, I've never seen a situation like this where the market was so short. Like there was a lot of puts. Puts were really popular going into this, you know? I've never seen a situation where everybody had puts and they were rewarded for it, you know? I've never seen anything close to that. So what happens now? I would think that at some point there has to be some short covering and that you could get some strong rallies. We should know. I will know that the historical record on this when wars start is that the market low happens right around when the war actually starts and that things recover afterwards. I don't know if that will be the case. When I look at this, of course, higher energy prices is a big problem. Okay. Higher energy prices is going to hurt growth. So I think that it makes sense that we should see a decline in growth, but growth projections and that the market should decline as appropriate for that. But then beyond that, I don't know if it really, like, are we going to have a recession because of this war? I'm still leaning towards no recession. Probably more likely, but I'm still leaning towards probability is there will be no recession. And I'm still leaning towards Federal Reserve is going to hike rates 25 basis points in March, right? Like I think that life in the United States goes on. So that might mean that now is a good time to buy, but I can't say for sure. I don't. This is a situation that we don't have really any precedent for, well, we're gonna have to take it play by play. Like my job is a day trader. I know how the market should react to individual headlines. What's the next headline that's going to be? Well, the next thing that we know that could happen is that NATO is going to meet and then Biden is going to speak, and I think that there's a good chance that you will see buying when he speaks. So we'll see. We'll see. I still remember that memo going around on Twitter from a fund who sent someone to Ukraine basically said invasion was not going to happen. Well, everybody in Ukraine was saying it's not going to happen. I mean, the president in Ukraine was saying that an invasion was not going to happen. And like we were saying the other day when we were having our conversation, like I did not know what was going to happen. And I was kind of like not willing to put money on any kind of outcome, but we all believed that nothing was going to happen. We didn't have any reason to believe that after the US said that there was going to be an invasion and it didn't happen, what would have been the correct logic and the correct pieces of information that we would have had that would have allowed us to really know with confidence that Russia was really going to go all the way, and I'm not so sure that we could have it, that we have it, that it was possible. It was always, I guess it was always a really big bet that Russia was going to attack. Although certainly a lot of people made it, right? But you haven't given me any reasons. There was a piece of confirmed information that we had that would let us know with confidence that Russia wasn't just going to go into the Donetsk area. Right? Because that was the big question, was it going to be just Donetsk, or were they going to attack all of Ukraine? Were they going to attack Kiev? 70% of you guys said they wouldn't attack Kiev. And I think that Lucas was like the only one on the stream that thought that they would. What was the what were specific pieces of information that we could have used to do this? Everything, come on, you got to be specific, man. You got to be see what's going on here. Well, here's what I think happened. You have a conclusion and you see everything going in towards that conclusion, but you weren't necessarily looking at the evidence per se. What do you think? Well, America is going to support Ukraine, but they're not going to get involved militarily, at least not directly. They'll probably give them lots of support and military aid and all of that sort of thing. But from what Joe Biden has said multiple times, they will not be putting troops in. Okay. I feel kind of dumb doing it this way, but most solid information. Okay, so you're gonna have to. That's not specific. So here's the information that I had. The Biden administration says that Russia is going to attack like imminently. And then it didn't happen that day. And they said, well, it could still happen. And we also had the things that Putin was saying, right? The things that Putin was saying. Now, the things that Putin was saying, of course, there's like earlier on, but when we were talking on what was it, Tuesday? When we were talking on Tuesday, he had already spoken, right? So we knew what Putin was saying about the Ukraine situation and those republics, and that they were going to assist those particular republics. So definitely we knew at that point that it was likely that Russia was going to come in to the Donetsk area, right? But we still didn't. The open question was, will they attack Kiev? Right. That was like the big key unknown. Right. What kind of solid evidence did we have that they were going to attack Ukraine at that point? I think that we did have what the Biden administration was saying in terms of like that Russia was going to attack. Um, but it was kind of a little bit speculative. Like the thing is, so I guess that was the first question: is should the mere fact that the Biden administration was warning about that, it kind of seems to me that we should have taken that a little bit more seriously, right? But it's kind of a tough situation because they come in and say, oh, X thing is going to happen, and then it doesn't happen. It's like I don't have the information that they do, so I can't. It's not empirical evidence. You know what I mean? It's not empirical evidence. What if Ukraine will use? Well, but that's the whole thing is that Ukraine gave their nuclear weapons up in exchange for security guarantees that are all being breached here by like Russia is breaching multiple agreements by doing this, right? They do not have nukes. You're right. Should hmm. Let's see if we can just get a Ukrainian vector art thing. Or maybe Ukraine map instead of trying to just do it from Google Maps. Let's come in here, images, tools, and make it really big. Make sure that it's a large. Oh, that one looks nice. I like that one. Okay, Lucas says, I don't mind what Biden says, just saying the conflicts have been escalating this whole time. But that's not, okay, so saying that it has been escalating and that it will continue to escalate is a logical fallacy, though, right? Ukraine breached agreements by applying to NATO. Did they ever agree to not join NATO? I don't know if that is actually correct. Can you show me? Can you point to me where the yeah, help me out. I can only research so many things at a time, right? Help me out here. Can you find me where in a treaty or agreement that they made that they agreed to not seek NATO membership? Ah, it's a WebP file. Okay. We'll put it in the downloads here. Let's try going back into Affinity. Let's give up on this and let's try going back to Affinity Photo because I think I got a better map here. Okay. How friendly China will be with Russia or just be neutral. And okay, so far, China has been unwilling to call it an invasion. So that's about the long and short of it. I still want to do my full resolution here for the image. Copy image. Let's see if it will. Okay. Hmm. Do we need all of Crimea? We can just do it like that. There you go. You would need to be a top senior official within Putin's cabinet, and maybe even then to get a solid piece of information. Yeah. So then let's just say it this way, Lucas. You in particular had certain instincts about it, and they were right. Right. I think that's the best way that we can put it. We didn't necessarily have direct empirical evidence that it was going to play out this way, but you certainly could have had instincts that it was going a certain way. Yeah. Can't trust China, bro. Yeah. Apply. Okay. Now we got it. Good deal. Okay. That was a lot easier than what I was trying to do. China has their own plans. Well, I was seeing here on TweetDeck there was reports that China was doing their thing where they fly planes over and stuff. I never knew this was going to happen. Just not something I'd be willing to fade. Come on, someone asked me, is Switzerland going to invade France? Yeah, I am fading. Oh, I get you. Yeah. Which is to say that you don't own SPY puts or are short the S&P 500 right now. And you know what? Here's the other thing is I think it puts us as interest rates traders in a particularly difficult spot, because even though this is a huge development and a big, you wouldn't even know how. But it's just rates are still going to have to increase, right? So how does this actually affect interest rates? It's hard for me to sort out. So like if I was going to put a trade on based on the theory that Russia was going to invade Poland, I definitely would not be taking it in the treasury, And since we're both treasuries, right? No trade. Yeah, is what it is. I'm going to try and open it up this way. There we go. Okay. File. Save as. We'll save it in our photos. You guys remember that sexy Seth one? That's so funny. Save. Oh, you want the link for the others for the share vision? Sure thing. Right here. Got 15 minutes to the open. There's been a lot of oscillations. The treasuries are moving like crazy, dude. The treasuries are going like 10 and 20 tick swings. The late rate hikes remove tightening. I don't think so. I think that they have to tighten to some extent. I think that they have to tighten to some extent. Okay, so now that we've got this map, I can just tell you, and I'll use my pen to do this. Yeah. Okay. So I have heard of reports in Mariupol and Kharkiv in particular. I'm hearing a lot about Kharkiv. All right. There has been attacks in Kiev. In fact, I heard some people were speculating that the Russians were attacking the airport, but since I don't hear anything about that this morning, I think that that must have just been speculation and it didn't happen. Do you think delayed rate hikes are impossible? Well, I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but I'm going to say that right now, um, there's still an extremely high probability that they will hike rates in March. But there will be a 25 basis point hike. I think that they really need to get back to neutral, because what's been going on here in this market is a little bit crazy. Having all of that crazy stuff going on doesn't necessarily help us in the conflict, and in fact, it just makes us vulnerable, right? We're attacking military. Or I was hearing people were saying that they were hearing gunshots, like that they thought that Russian troops were in the Kiev airport and that they were going to try and land troops in Kiev for a wider invasion. But I didn't hear anything more from that, which means that speculation was probably incorrect. Anyways, when they go down through it, even though they're attacking Kiev, it looks to me like Russia really is just focusing in on this area over here. Maybe everything on this side of the river perhaps might happen. What you might see is Russia will occupy everything over to here, and then they'll get stuck here is a likely scenario. That's what I was trying to show you guys. All of that. I had this big thing, but what I think we should do is we should keep this map up here, and when we get confirmed reports, we can come in and we can draw on here where we've seen Russians, right? Right? We won't keep track of the Ukrainian forces, but let's keep track of where the Russian forces are, right? So I'll come back here. We should use red, right? Use red. No, that's not it. Affinity photo confuses me sometimes. Ah, there we go. Okay. And let's change the size of this to be a lot smaller. Like maybe like that. Okay. So I know for sure I've seen troops going towards Kharkiv and Mariupol. I know that for sure. Okay. Puke green. Right. We can pick different colors, so as things come along here, we can make this more complicated if we need to. The treasuries just had a really strong 21 tick swing there. Back down for us. Let's save this and close it for now. Talk about crazy. And the liquidity in the treasury is just dismal. Just dismal. You know what, Lucas? I'm really disappointed that you weren't short the S&P 500. I thought you were going to come in here and you're going to be like, "Yep, I'm rich now." As and I'd be like, "Dude, cover it now and just be rich." What you going to do? What you going to do? Now, why is the treasury just moving, or was there a reason for it to get hit like that? 'Cause that's a pretty wild move. A pretty wild move. I think I need to make this share vision window smaller. In fact, screw it. I'm just gonna minimize share vision. Imagine the pressure Biden is feeling right now. Trump is probably happy he's not in office during this shitstorm. Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. Like, here's the thing: is that in my opinion, if Donald Trump was in office, Russia would not be attacking Ukraine. That's my opinion. I really can't back that one up. Like, we really don't know. We really don't know. But it seems to me that Trump would have been more aggressive in defending them and would maybe have had more success at deterring a Russian invasion. Okay, but at the point at which there is a Russian invasion, um, Trump being in charge kind of scares me at that point. Like, the chances of a nuclear war a lot higher if Trump was in office right now. Because I think that if Trump was in office, he would be saying, "Okay, we're going to attack and we're going to put troops in there now," and then Russia would use a tactical nuclear weapon, and it would be all over. I think, yeah, that's just my own feeling. I have to say, man, okay, so now I got to get into something else here. What the heck? My machine is just unhappy right now. Do I have something in the background? Do I have? Clearly, I'm not going to put any trades in when things are running like that. Oh, my Brave browser is taking up a lot of resources. You know what? I don't think that we need that or that or that or that. Okay. That's a little bit better. And let's make sure that we've got Discord over here so we can keep track of you guys, our friends in Discord. Nuclear wars, fear porn. Russia will never use nukes. And well, so here's what I think. I'm not trying to scare you guys, but I think that this is a real scenario. Okay. I think that there's a scenario where Russia uses tactical nuclear weapons. What I mean by tactical nuclear weapons is using a nuclear bomb, a relatively small nuclear bomb, in a limited area to clear it of troops and then move their troops in afterwards. You remember all of these videos? Like, the U.S. military had done drills on this sort of thing. They would launch a nuclear weapon, and then they would move their troops into the area afterwards to see to see how practical it was. And even though there was obviously lots of radiation and everything, they put the clothes on them and everything, and you just dispose of the clothes, and yeah, they were fine. Taiwan reporting Chinese. Yes, I saw that. Um, Although that's just something that the Chinese do like every other day, so I don't know if that's something we should be too concerned about yet. But when Putin talks about nukes, I think that's what he's talking about doing. He's saying if we have a war, it's going to be a real war. So, yeah, dude, these treasuries, that is not tradable. That is not tradable. It's actually really crazy that my swing position is like just only barely losing. maybe if we go back up to the range, I might try playing with it. Now, probably better for me to just stay off of it. What's the range for a tactical nuke? Whatever you want it to be, I suppose. Mhm. You have to size down and use wider spots for sure. For sure. But let's just remember, what do we want to do? We want to predict future orders, right? If we have a piece of information that is likely to be able to predict future orders, then we have a trade. And if we don't, then we don't have a trade, right? So at the moment, the market is oscillating around a lot. But do we have something that we think can really effectively predict the future orders? Here in the Treasury, I say no. I say that it is really just not a good idea to put a trade on right now. I'm sure that there would be people that go in and mess with it and end up making a ton of money, but I don't think that we have any reason to believe at the moment that China will take over Taiwan simultaneously. It's certainly a scenario and something that I'm concerned about myself, but we don't have any reports right now that I really think really give me reason for concern. The Chinese flying into Taiwanese airspace, I don't think is really a big deal. I don't think that the Chinese are going to attack Taiwan today. If they did, they would lose. But this may increase the chances that in 5 years, China will try to invade Taiwan. Yeah. Yeah. I say buy Russian government bond yields. No, why? Why would you want to have any money in Russia? So first of all, Otis, if you buy Russian government bond yields, you're going to get cut off. Like the sanctions are basically banning the purchasing of Russian debt. So I don't think that you would even be able to legally buy a Russian government bond at the moment. And if you did get one, it's going to be taken away from you. So that's a really, really bad idea from my understanding. Second of all, the Russian stock market is down like 40%. Like really, all foreign investment right now, what's going on in Russia is a mad dash for all foreign investment to leave the country is what's going on over there right now. So I would avoid Russian investments off like the plague. Okay, and should note that copper is coming back now. How is my web browser taking up more memory than Jigsaw? That's funny. Turkish-owned ship was hit by a bomb off the coast of Odessa. The ship is safe. There are no casualties. 4 people were killed when Russian forces attacked a hospital in the Donetsk region, according to local Ukrainian leadership. This is probably going to happen a lot. The data feed resetting on us. Hmm. Oh, so ES is started. That's where it reset on me there, was right when the ES opened, huh? Okay, well, the volume on the open was sell. There was a pretty big spike of selling on the open. But we are getting a little bit of upside movement here. It's not really coming through in terms of cumulative delta, not yet. So 100-point downturn overnight. That's pretty crazy. Like, I remember coming through here and thinking 4,200 is like support. If we break 4,200, that's the point that like everybody panics, but then like the markets just miraculously recover or something like that. Well, we opened below 4,200, so I don't know how useful that is. FX Macro seems to think that active macro managers will be buying NDX, huh? Well, at the moment, it looks like a buy. Could this? I did say earlier, it's like, well, there's a chance that this is the worst, and then maybe you buy from here on out. I think that we have significant headline risk right now, and in fact, I think that the larger speculation that I would maybe be making right now is, short covering and recovery, well, with really strong headline risk. I think in this situation that the headline risk just makes it like not worth it. But let's just kind of sort this out. We can still root for them. Dow Jones is down 10% from its record closing high. Yeah, first move was a buy. That does tell us something. Shouldn't stocks go way lower with this news? Not necessarily. Why should they? The question, so remember that typically what people want to do is they want to say, what are companies worth now because of this? How does this change fundamental value? Or like, is this priced in, that sort of a thing? It begins the Ukrainian invasion. We should change that. Invasion of Ukraine begins. That's what happened. Right. So again, what we need to think about is orders. We need to think about what orders will come into the market because of this news, right? Do any of you hear Russia has invaded Ukraine and think, "Oh man, I really want to buy the S&P 500 because this is going to be so good for the S&P 500?" Eh, people are scared right now. This is an emotional moment for everybody, okay? Like, we've never dealt with something like this, right? It's been almost 100 years since something like this has happened in the world. An active open conflict on the European continent. It's it's a dramatic time. People are going to be emotional, and people are going to be putting in emotional orders in here, right? And yeah, a lot of people are going to be scared. A lot of people are going to be scared, and they're going to be selling their stocks. So, doesn't we had a pretty big move overnight, and I think that you'll probably see a couple of people panic here in the open a little bit. Um, that's not to say that some sort of a short covering rally is not possible. And again, there could be all sorts of headlines that could be good or bad. And we should know that Biden is going to talk today. They're going to consult with their NATO allies to get a unified response, and then they're going to come out. We're going to find out what those further actions and sanctions will be. I can't imagine what it's actually going to be, but that could move the market. Maybe that would be a buy. Then we work from there, right? Right. The insecurity is over now. It happened. I remember in the Iraq invasion where the stock market rallied after the war started. Yeah, but I think that this one is a little different still. To be honest with you. So I let me try and cover this a little bit more thoroughly. Okay. There is absolutely no precedent for what is happening. So one could say, okay, well, okay. So first of all, the whole patterns, it's bullshit. Let's just remember that, right? What prices and what things have happened in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going to happen this time around, okay? But I think that there are really key differences between the world today and in past conflicts, okay? So for instance, Iraq, we never had any kind of economic connection to Iraq ever. Okay, like the U.S. invading the world, invading Iraq. Of course, it was bad for oil prices, but there wasn't really any economic consequences to the Western world because of it. Okay, that's different from the Russia situation. I'm not saying that Russia is like a huge trading partner or anything like that, but it is an impact. All of the money, the people have money in Russia. They're going to have to take it out. We have trade with Russia. That's going to end. And in particular, the European Union has a lot of trade with Russia because of energy. They buy a lot of energy from Russia. So that makes this particular situation significantly different from any other kind of past conflict that we've had that we can look at to try and say what the stock market is going to do. Now, the only thing that's really even remotely comparable is when World War I and World War II started. Well, except for that, the world is a lot more connected now, so I really can't say with confidence that this will behave the same way that it has in the past. I'd like to think that now is a buy the dip kind of a situation. I'd like to think that there's going to be some short covering and that there might be some reason to buy here. But I really can't say for sure because it's just not the same situation. There you go. It's a more globalized world and economy, basically. Exactly. And to that point, there's been people, particularly in the cryptocurrency arena, that have been saying, oh, buy this. And I'm sitting here like, we don't know what's going to happen. This isn't the same situation. I think you sit and wait. I think you sit and wait and see what happens. Here's the thing. Maybe let's just say that today is the low. Let's just say that we know for sure that today is the low. Okay. Is it really going to be that big of a difference if you buy today versus tomorrow? I think that there's good reasons to just sit on your hands right now. But that's up to you. Well, like I was saying, you guys understand. You've watched my video. You all watched my video, right, about the inelastic market hypothesis. Okay, you're prepared. You are more capable than any other group of retail traders on this planet. I 100% believe that you are more capable than any other group of retail traders on this planet to trade this. Okay, that probably means that you'll still lose money if you do it, but hey, that's where we're at. If you are going to trade it though, have a really big stop, guys. Have a really big stop. Don't, you better be able to take the risk on. You made one. Yeah. Well, I think in this kind of a situation for scalping, it's like you'll catch like one swing and then it's like, okay, that's all I need. I'm done. Right. Because this is the kind of situation where we're going to have like a 50-point move back up and then a 50-point move back down sort of a thing, like it's going to be all over the place. But it is often, just like in the coronavirus case, coronavirus situation, right? Where it would just like out of nowhere, really huge bull days, you know? Possible. Possible. I'm more concerned about just the headline risk, like whatever kind of a position I take. I don't want to take on a huge stop and probably a headline comes out it's going to stop me out of something, right? For a swing trade, for like my larger portfolio, it might make sense for me to try and put some money to work today, right? Might also make sense to take some profits on gold and silver. I don't know about that one. I should come back and see how much did the SLV go here. Um, I don't like messing with my stock portfolio, but might be like, okay, so we took a pretty big hit overnight, that's for sure. Even though we made some money on the silver. Oh, it's not actually that much. Maybe AG is just not the way to do it. Because even with that big old move, I'm still down a lot on my silver position. Hmm. But yeah, my Goldman shares got hit hard. You think that the market's going to run sideways? That might be the case too. Well, look, they are already pivoted. They already kind of did a pivot high. We'll see what the bears do now. AG. Oh, what? Oh, because silver's taking the plunge. I see. So at one point today, I was probably up really big, but it's coming back, and even still, it's really far off from at the beginning of 2021 when silver was almost hit 24 at one point. That's interesting. Do not like the looks of that action there. Well, let's do some. Oh no, not five contracts. No. Let's do some gambling here. So I'm just looking across the board, and almost every asset at the moment is retracing its overnight moves. Gold and silver, in particular, retraced big time. Hmm. I'm having a hard time focusing today on all of your comments. Oh man, I have so many thoughts going through my head, man. This is just. I think a bigger thing for me. I think that I have the knowledge to trade this market. I think I might make some money here on this MES trade. We'll see, but I kind of feel like that. I don't have the emotional composure to do it. I'm definitely like my thinking and my ability to like form complete sentences and stuff today, it seems a little compromised, don't you think? Okay. Well, that might have been all the bear run. That might have been all there is. And jeez. That the way this is moving, it's like every little swing you just can't means nothing. Too much noise. It seems to me like 35 was a better place to go short, but right there, unlikely to give it to me now. But you can see here the treasuries are pushing down a little bit, but they're having a hard time holding those prices. Okay. This is where they just rally through me like crazy town. Right. ECB's Lagarde and EU officials to hold a presser today. Oh, that's interesting. Whoa, the fuck? Did you see that? Wow. What a sweep of orders there. Wow. I have to, we'd have to go into a tick chart to be able to see what just happened there. There's just like huge sweeps both ways there, going like 5 points up and down. Nutso stuff. But sure enough, there's a new high. So let's puke this. Puke our sim. Well, I think if I want to play a recovery here, I would prefer to do it in the treasury. Right? Now we'll save one. You're saying Ukraine reporting it destroyed a column of Russian tanks? What do you mean by that's 15? And Brannigan Barrett says, on a positive note, if this is the top for WTI oil for a generation, at least it will be easy to calculate percentage retracements. Plus, we can make funny jokes like 0 to 100 in 24 months. Yeah, wow. Okay, that's 15 tanks that they've destroyed. Okay. Well, that could be. It seems like the market is turning really bullish right now, including the interest rate market, and gold is coming back really hard. No, there's it's awfully shaky though, right? Yeah, those 3 1 lot trades I made yesterday, you woke up this. If you were short, yeah, you'd be. Would any of you have been have enough margin in your account to really hold it out through the overnight though? Their ECB's Lagarde and the EU officials to hold press conference at 3 p.m. on Friday. On Friday. I have not taken any live trades today. No, I did try a little short there in the ES on Sim, but kind of dipped my feet in on it. Look at this. A piece of news has clearly hit the market that's more significant than that, and I'm not hearing it yet. Oh, okay. They said that the at 9:17 was when the NATO meeting started. 9:17 Eastern time. So they've been in their meeting now for like 30 minutes. I don't know. The way that the treasuries moved down like that is a little wild, man. Hitting some levels here in the treasury that where things kind of might balance out. Sucks that I didn't get filled up here on the second contract. I would have liked to have taken some moved my average position up, you know. Oh, what's Mitt Romney saying? Putin's Ukraine invasion is the first time in 80 years that great powers moved to conquer a sovereign nation with, well, that's not true, but okay, without its justification, without provocation, and without honor. Putin's impunity predictably follows our tepid response to his previous horrors in Georgia and Crimea. I agree. Our naive efforts at a one-sided reset and the short-sightedness of America First. The 80s called and we didn't answer. Al, I don't know if it was America First really had anything to do with it, but I do agree that we made a lot of missteps along the way here to lead us to this point. The peril of again looking away from Putin's tyranny falls not just on the people of the nations he has violated, it falls on America as well. History shows that a tyrant's appetite for conquest is never satiated. America and our allies must answer the call to protect freedom by subjecting Putin and Russia to the harshest economic penalties, by expelling them from global institutions, and by committing ourselves to expansion and modernization of our national defense. I agree. I agree with the conclusion, at least. EU ambassador, we want the most comprehensive package possible, focusing on industry, export restrictions, and financials. Whoa. Okay. So I am now hearing over the news squawk that, as you guys had mentioned earlier, that the Russians have entered Chernobyl, and there was fighting there, and that fighting destroyed a nuclear storage bin. That's crazy. That is weird news. It is. Hi, I'm excited to see that scene in the next Call of Duty game. Nah, I don't think that there's really any reason for them to be there. There's nothing there. Well, I mean, there's just the big building that they're using to keep the radiation shuttered. It was probably just so happened they may have disturbed nuclear waste. This is advisor to the Ukrainian Interior Ministry. Russian forces infiltrated Chernobyl and fighting there destroyed a nuclear waste storage facility, reports NBC News. That's crazy. So, where's our map? Okay, wait. Now they're changing the headline. They're saying it may disturb, but they're not saying that it has. Chernobyl is not radiation free. You know that you can visit Chernobyl? You know that you can go there now? I mean, it's been long enough that it's safe for people with short exposures, but you do have to take like a note, one of those things on you and everything. Okay, so where is Chernobyl? It's not on my map. Chernobyl man. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. That's not good. I see. I see. Okay, so there it is right there on my map. Chernobyl. So troops from Belarus are coming down. Okay, so I didn't even when I said that earlier, it's like, well, they could come over here. Yeah, except for that they can come from Belarus too. That means that they've got columns coming to Kiev. That's what that means. That's what that means, folks. Do you think we're overbought? Well, I think we're seeing a lot of short covering here, but I don't think this is over yet. I'll try testing the waters here a bit. Okay. We are going to get home sales data here in a few minutes. I don't know if the markets will really care or react to that, but we'll see what happens. The price action still looks relatively bullish. CNN Politics says, how's Putin's attack on Ukraine unfolded inside the White House? We'll want to read that. It's not safe if the nuclear waste repository will be destroyed. Also, so you guys know that they built like this big shell over the whole plant and everything, right? And I think that there was some storage out there. There's like some residual radiation in all sorts of places, though. I mean, but like, here's the thing: them attacking Chernobyl, it doesn't mean that it's going to expose the rest of the world to radiation or anything like that. Um, in fact, I think that the real significance of that headline is that Russian troops are coming through Chernobyl and heading towards Kiev, essentially. Russian troops coming from Belarus are moving through Chernobyl and heading directly to Kiev. That's what I take away from that headline. Okay, that was a pretty big move. A little sweep down. Did I get a fill? Yay! Okay. Okay, so action has turned decidedly more bearish. They haven't reached like the downside pivot yet, but they're awfully close. What do you mean by there you go? It seems like it's an okay sell at the moment, but I'm not sure why you think that. Should I like load the contracts on? I don't want to load them on down here per se. Oh, okay. Biden will be speaking at 12:30 Eastern Time regarding Russia. Does that mean that their meeting is already over? Did you see Belarus president saying Russian troops will remain in his country? He looked like he had food poisoning or something. Jeez. You think that's a dip buy? I'm just gambling here. I'm just gambling. I don't know what's gonna happen. I sold it. I sold it. We'll see how far we can run it. And see if we can take some, little scalps in here and there between points. You know, think like I could just, like every five points put some orders out. You know, try and do some market making here. Pretend like I'm providing liquidity, even though these are all sim orders right now. Yeah, that doesn't look good all of a sudden. This is kind of a strange change. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it seems to me like the volume has all of a sudden changed significantly. Very well. There's a lot of volume trading there at 4140. Hmm. Brexit was more insane if I remember correctly. Okay. You're just waiting for Jinping to join the stage. I don't think China's going to do anything. I think that people overstate the degree to which China and Russia are working together. They're not really as natural allies as people think. And I really don't think that China is in the position to attack. Um, okay, there must have been another headline here because that's a pretty wild move up. Okay. So Johnson will speak at 11. No, wait. Well, they're giving me Greenwich Mean Time times, but Johnson to speak at 5 and then Biden 5:30. So it seems like that the Western nations are probably coordinating. Yeah. Oh, did I get 45? That's good, probably, right? I want that one. Thank you. Take it again if they give it to me. Okay. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Treasuries fell a good clip there again, didn't they? I don't know that move there, that on that up move, it seemed like that could have been news driven, but it's I mean, because it was so extreme. I think the reality in this situation is that that's probably an unreliable indication. I think that self-generated, self-excitatory moves here in this market could be, 5 to 10 points just out of nowhere for no real actual reason, right? There does appear to be some support in the 35 area. Not able to really get the volume below that. Okay. Like really, like just the noise of the market right now is looking to be about 10 points. Okay, the Fed is delaying its um treasury and mortgage buys because of technical difficulties. That's interesting. That happened another time recently, didn't it? Well, there was something going on weird and everyone was kind of like, You guys remember that? When was that? I wish I could remember. Oh, oh, it didn't fill it. Oh, no, wait, it did fill it. There we go. Come on. Oh, so close. Maybe I shouldn't have it exactly on the. Hmm. Man, it is a lot of contracts trading on the ES there, wouldn't you say? Volume is split between the front and back contracts, which doesn't help with the action. Well, it's almost certainly happening here in the treasuries, huh? Should I? What do you think? Do you think I should roll? This wants me to roll. So my treasury data is going to stop here for a second. Let's roll. We're going to roll it over. ZB platform. ZB. And yes, June. Okay. So let's see what we got here. There actually is more liquidity on June. So that's good. Should have checked that earlier, huh? So let's just really quickly here. I don't have, oh, how do I do this? What's the best way for me to do this? Hmm. Yeah, oh, there it is. So we will buy here. Fine. We will go short here. Oh wait. Let's make sure that's on the right one. Okay, yeah, it is. Good. Okay. Do my roll. Waiting for interest rates to what? Exactly. Well, they're still being bullish overall so far. Look at that. Look at that stop run. Woo. It doesn't look like they're gonna come and give it to me. The uptrend that we've been having here on this one is way strong, like way stronger and more consistent. Like I thought that even if it was gonna go against me, I should be able to get like fills on both sides and be fine, but that's not what's been happening at all. Ooh, he does that all the time, Lucas. I think he's not actually supposed to be talking to us. No fill at 60, huh? Serves me right for picking even numbers. Let's pick that number. All right. Well, this over here in the treasury, they're getting a lot at 24. Struggling a little bit at 67, 68, but they could probably make another slight push. Um, it's a pretty big gap between here and there, like from 67 to like 85. There's kind of a gap. So, okay. Interesting. The treasury there. Declining a little bit further. That's actually, oh, that's, yeah, that is lows. Okay. There you go. Look at them. Look at them slam that. Look at them slam that. Probably not 75. Okay. Okay. Global Markets Forum tweets Taiwan Defense Ministry says 9 Chinese air force planes entered its air defense zone on Thursday. Hu Shijin, notorious Global Times former editor and Twitter troll, tweets, "Get used to it. There may be PLA aircraft fly there tomorrow." Hmm. Oh, hey, look, the Treasury came back there hard. Now that's interesting. The Treasuries snapped back that quickly, up to 26 half, and the S&P 500 continues its bullish run. I always erase my messages too since I've been shut out. Really? Come on, let me have it. Let me have it. Coinbase expects ETH staking yields to rise to 9 to 12% APR after the merge goes live in less than 5 months. Okay, dude, that tweet by who is a little scary to me. I can't believe, like, Like, here's the thing. Again, I am very skeptical that China will attack Taiwan anytime soon, but there's certainly going to be it's certainly going to be on people's minds. You guys were mentioning it here in chat. We all know that it's kind of a thing. Like, if Russia can get away with that sort of thing, what's going to stop China from getting away from attacking Taiwan? And Hu Jixin certainly knows what's going on in the world today. And what does he decide to tweet? Get used to it. There may be more PLA aircraft fly there tomorrow. That's what he decides to tweet. Are you kidding me? That's a little terrifying to me. It's a little terrifying to me. Well, I don't know how I did that, but I played that swing in the 10-year treasury it's almost picture perfect. We can get a new low, then it's truly picture perfect. State of the Union next week shouldn't be longer than 4. Oh, are you kidding me? It's going to be like an hour long. Did you hear this story? I know it's not like too particularly relevant, but what was it? Taleb or whatever her name is going to give the progressive response to Biden's speech. You think that they'll finally give me 60? That would be nice. Come on, give me one of those sweet fills. Senior U.S. defense official, one main access is from Belarus to Kiev. Ah, there you go. We already pointed that one out. I was actually a little embarrassed that I was slower on that one than I should have when the Chernobyl thing came, because I remember I drew that line. I'm like, well, it looks like they could come all the way to here, but I forgot about Belarus. But then when you think about it, actually, we're still kind of ahead of the curve. You think I could handle another 24? No, I don't think so. But I will take another 26 half if they give it. It's unlikely for them to fill me there, but Belarus is on Russian side because of its crazy president. Everything in Belarus right now is just crazy, anyways. I don't know. It doesn't look to me like the Bulls want to just give up after that coming just short of 85. But the place that they pivoted there could be important. I mean, so there was single prints there on the overnight. So they filled up the single prints and then immediately started having problems. That could be a deal. Okay, well, I can take one at 65 now because they finally gave me my bill at 60. Oh, almost. Next big news could be sea stuff because Russia has Crimea. Why do you say that? What who would they attack in the sea? I don't think that Ukraine really has any stuff in the sea like that. There was a ship got attacked by a bomb, a Turkish boat, I believe it was. No, fell at 21 half yet. Ah, there we go. Well, now that I've got my position back to 127, yes, okay. I want to watch them do something. They're kind of acting a little strange here at 21 half. And we'll let that sort itself out first. Be ready to support Ukraine in the squares of our cities. It's happening. There's going to be widespread urban warfare, man. Odessa port. Well, they'll be attacking the ports, but I don't understand what there would be like sea warfare is. I kind of what I think you're saying, right? Ukrainians, tough city folk acting like a typical day. Wouldn't be. Well, they were already attacking Sevastopol, right? Or not Mariupol. There was a lot of action. Mariupol was the first place that I heard about action. So, have you heard reports of stuff in Odessa? If they've got stuff all the way over in Odessa, then that's like, whew. The world is breaking down and it's buying. Well, I mean, you got short covering and stuff. When this all started, I kind of suggested that that was a possibility here, right? In fact, it's still a possibility. It's actually, I think, a really strong possibility that we've already seen the lows of this cycle. But I'm not willing to put my money on that. We rolled over our treasuries and did a little bit of market making, and we was able to get our average position almost to 127, where we break even. You know, that's what I would have done if I was managing the money. Um, and other than that, I think we're good. I think we're good. I don't really need to come in and take trades on the 10-year down in here. You know, although it get interesting if this keeps going and we get to like 1.95. I guess that seems like a real possibility at this point now, doesn't it? Let's come back to the 10-year here. Yeah, so like probably another little clip down to 126.16. That would be recovering most of the overnight single prints and stuff. Could happen. It's really curious to me the way that the treasuries are trading back. It's falling quite quickly, and they continue to do so. If you come back and look here, so you can see on this chart the S&P 500 has come back pretty considerably, but the 10-year is just still sitting on the lows. So the 10-year seems to be seeing this differently. It seems like the 10-year still seems to think Federal Reserve is going to raise rates. Did it get another fill at 50? Oh, almost. There we go. The volatility is, I don't think it's nice. You people are crazy. You people are crazy. This is sitting here in the S&P 500. Unprecedented volatility. Oh, this is awesome, guys. Let me blow my account. You're crazy. Oh, did I get filled there already? Hey, that wasn't too bad. Or no, was it? I was short at 55. Oh, I didn't have one at 60. Yeah, okay. You say not too crazy, I guess. Jordan B. Peterson, what does he have to say on this day? This is how your freedom is taken. Things get to terrible places one tiny step at a time. If I encroach you and I'm sophisticated about it, I'm going to encroach 2 millimeters. I'm going to encroach right to the point where you begin to protest, and then I'm going to stop. One of 3. Yeah, but we know where he's going. You would really need market maker skills to profit off of this and the personality type to trade wider spreads and higher volatility. Yeah. Well, you'd need a really big bankroll for sure. You can see here, I'm trying to do a market making kind of a strategy here. But I'm kind of on the wrong side of it, so it's kind of been difficult. Hmm. Okay. It seems like volatility is kind of starting to increase somewhat, wouldn't you say? Alligator, I'm not sure of impact on rates short term. CBS should moderate hike rhythm to support economy, but inflation should increase significantly, notably in commodities. So they probably want to tame that. Long term, we see end of globalization as unavoidable. Hmm. That's a really big. That's a big statement. So we're now getting into profit. China telling Taiwan to get used to incursions, I'm sure. At some point, they're going to have to sit down and say, no, you're not allowed to do that. But you can see, like, what Peterson said, I think he's pointing out the correct thing here is that the way that if you're going to encroach upon somebody else and you're sophisticated about it, what you do is you encroach just enough to get the other person to protest, and then you stop, you back off, wait a little while, and then start encroaching a little bit more. And every time that you let them take an inch, I think you're doing yourself a great disservice, you know? Hmm. So I'm not so sure about 55 there. I'm gonna give it a little bit more room here. There will be no modifications to U.S. protocols for deconflicting with Russian forces in Syria. There will be no new instructions on U.S. Russian military communications. Anyways, so you've seen what Russia has done here, right? They encroached a little bit, a little bit. They said, "Oh, it's we're not invading you. It's just militias doing it, etc. It's just this one spot." And then all of a sudden they take over the whole country. As soon as you say, "Well, we're not going to stop you." They take over the whole country. Did you miss something with the oil inventory? I think that they were saying, you know what? I don't know why I didn't see more stuff on this, but I did see some people talking about an SPR release. That might be why oil has moved the way it is. There was the oil news here. Oh no, no way, it's Thursday, right? Not now, ever no. Take some to 60 and 65. They come back to 70. I'm probably letting them come back up a little bit more. Oh, okay. Oil inventory is due in 22 minutes. They have some at the top of the arrow. Hold on. Let me come back over here. Man, today has been a quick day for me. Yep. Salami tactics. What OSS feared about USSR and China post World War II. They'll keep chipping inches small enough for other countries not to bother, but hurting their target. Yep. You gotta set a line and you gotta hold to stick to it, man. As soon as Russia was doing stuff in Ukraine and we just kind of sat by and let it happen, that was when we lost, man. That should never have been allowed. Are they gonna breach the low end of the range here? That just turned south really quickly. Yeah, a little bit of hesitancy there at the pivots around 50, and there you go, bro, reached it. Hmm. And a fill. Thank you, sir. So that kind of puts 55. Are we finally getting a pullback in the treasury? Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Because I'm picking such round numbers, it's kind of funny to see how they react to where I'm putting them. Okay, so sorry, Thursday. Oh yeah, crude oil inventory is at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. FOMC member Mester speaks at 10. And then Biden will speak at 10:30. They fall under 40s, look for 25s. Yeah. I can afford to take contracts off no matter what after that point, right? Is that the weekly VWAP? Is that what that is? Hmm. I have to say, the way that it's behaving here is pretty unusual, wouldn't you say? Oh, wait, did I just get my fill at 55? Cool. Cool. You think the S&P will finish lower? I wish we should have done a dog poll today. Cause the name Goku came back up again yesterday, and I think that my wife is leaning towards Goku. I'm still pushing for cash, but I don't know if cash is gonna happen. Disabling Russian Swift system will be fun if they do. I think it's gonna happen. I mean, at this point, it's kind of almost like, does it matter if it happens or not? But like, I think the only reason they're keeping it up is because the Europeans want to pull all of their money out first. They'll pull all of their money out first, and then they'll close it down. That's what I think is happening. Just go full millennial and name your dog. You know, if he was red, maybe I would do that, but he's mostly black and a little bit of brown around the eyes. I feel like that kind of feels more Goku to me, don't you think? Like if it was all black, black, then maybe Vegeta, but Goku with a little bit of brown. So we did okay. My decision to skip some of these prices up here and let it come up here and not take fills until it was like further up, I think was a good one. I'll leave that 85 there. Just the whole thing is sometimes you want to pull your orders and let it come through because it's something that tells you that maybe they know what's going on. I'd hurl myself into a volcano before I named a dog Goku. Well, but you don't have a tiny dog anyways. You have huskies. But you would name him Cash? Would you name him Cash? Just name him Tommy? Where did that one come from? We could. I think if I was gonna go full trader, I would name it John, because it seems like every trader is named John. Something just coming through here. What was that? The U.S. is working on a plan with International Energy Agency on a combined release of additional crude from strategic reserves, says source. So that was what I was saying earlier. Now you are seeing, when we talked about it earlier, oil didn't react to it, but now oil is reacting to it. You say lies? That's what the report is. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reading the tweets. Oh, okay, geez. Futures Trader 71, how to survive and profit in high volatility markets. Here's how you do it. You don't trade it because it's just going to blow your account, guys. Sometimes. He has good content, but sometimes I strongly disagree with the things I hear from him. So are they going to give me trouble with 60 again? Giving me fills at 65, and they're going to be like, nah, we're not going to fill you at 60 again. Oh, I think he was calling lies about traders named John. Maybe that's what it was. Dude, I know a lot of traders named John. I'm just saying. I kind of, you know what? I don't know. I don't know, Lucas. Like, the thing is, I'm not watching those webinars I don't know what he's sharing, but it sure does. It sure is starting to feel to me like he is more interested in promoting his business than anything else. And I'm not entirely convinced that they're really providing people really edge. You know, I did bring up pork chop, and they all kind of laughed, and I am the thing about pork chop. The thing about pork chop is like if it really becomes deadlocked, pork chop might be a real possibility. Okay, you say Lucas says probably. I kind of feel like yeah. So here was the place where here was the interaction that I had with him that I was really was like, I don't want to come out and like call him a fraud or anything like that. That would be silly. I mean, he's still a good creator, and I think if you enjoy his content, you should watch it. Okay, but just like kind of, do I want to spend my time consuming his content? So, I had this interaction with them through Twitter where I had a spreadsheet out and I said, okay, if you do your scaling strategy like this and you assume a break even strategy, here are the probabilities that get listed out. And he was like, well, yeah, except for that all of my traders do better than that. And that was immediately was like, oh, geez, because on a daily basis, probably yes. On a daily basis, if you have your stop large enough, probably yes. But in over a long enough period of time, no, it's not. You're going to get fat tails where you're going to lose a ton of times in a row. You know that's going to happen. And he didn't respond to that. And that's all of a sudden when I was like, all he's doing is taking on excessive risk and then looking the other way when people blow it. That was kind of what I started to think about. He got called out on a Reddit room for. Well, I think there was some people we suspected that he was using an alternative account, but I don't know if that was actually the case. Oh, you know what happened to me yesterday? Oh my gosh. I got banned from the futures trading subreddit for self promotion. So I don't remember there ever being a rule about self promotion on the futures trading subreddit. And I have posted videos over there many, many, many times. And it was just fine. And now all of a sudden this week it's not allowed. So, like, did they recently change the rule or something? So I'm not going to post anything there, but like I know some of you guys that are involved in the subreddit watch our stream. I have to tell you, I'm not particularly happy with the way that the futures trading subreddit is going. So first of all, when you start banning people from doing self promotion, really what you're saying is we don't ever want anybody to post actual content. As what is what you're saying. We only want newbies that have no clue what they're doing to ask questions and get them answered, and that's all we want the subreddit to be. That's what your subreddit will be when you ban real content creators from creating content. And not only that, but they create like these like daily threads and stuff. Nobody comments in them. So if you are visiting the subreddit for the first time, what you see is a subreddit that just doesn't have any activity. Like it would be better for somebody to come in and only see a thread that was made a week ago rather than empty threads. So I really think that they should switch things on the Reddit, and I'm really thinking about more seriously trying to push for trying to create a better trading subreddit, because the day trading subreddit is just such shit. The self-permission rule has been there since it went mod/sticky auto posts only like 2 years ago. This is the first time they've done anything about it. So I got a 3-day ban, but I'm probably never gonna post there anymore. I mean, I will answer questions, I guess, but I'm not gonna post content there. Why would I? But why does Reddit do this? I don't get it. It's so freaking retarded that everybody on Reddit, they're all mad about the corporations and the way that the corporations have a control over their narrative and content online and all this and that. And then you have the one website, it's like the best place where individual content creators can get some attention outside of the algorithms just for like having good content, and they say no, you can't post it. Like, really, what the heck? Why does Reddit hate self-promotion? It's such a stupid rule. It shouldn't matter if it was my video that I'm posting or not, because all that does is just encourage me to like make an alternate account, right? It just is encouraging me to make an alternate account or something. And I get this on the day trading subreddit too. Every time I post my videos on the day trading subreddit, I get a lot of I get a lot of views from it, but it immediately gets downvoted. I'm sitting here like, and there is stuff on that subreddit. I'm wondering if I'm like being auto downvoted by somebody or something, because it's like as soon as I post it, I'm 0, and then I see just absolute complete bullshit get upvoted to the top videos and stuff like that. It's just like freaking. It's just so dumb. Because the way that the subreddits are run basically ensures that you never get any real expertise in the subreddit, right? It basically ensures that anybody that really knows what they're doing is not going to want to put up with it. So anyways, like the thing is there's a lot of room to make content. Like this is the thing that frustrates me with Futures Trader 71 is if Futures Trader 71 went out and he made videos kind of the style of video that I make, and he just made good, well edited videos, then the channel would have a huge subscriber base, and they would be making so much money just from making content on the YouTube that this whole kind of group thing and promoting their group would just seem like a complete waste of time. But it's like the short-term gain of getting the subscribers this way is just too much. And I feel that because of it, the group, I don't feel like people are getting the content that they should. I don't feel like that people are getting the content that they should. Or I put it this way. I think that I create better content than any of the other traders on YouTube. I think that I'm giving you like real serious edge and everybody else is full of shit. That seems like something that shouldn't be the reality. Like that seems like I must be wrong about something big time. I must have like some really huge bias or something, because that just shouldn't be the case. But every time I go and I watch other channels about trading, they're just sharing complete bullshit. It's like things that if you've been trading for a year, you probably already know. You know what I mean? And it's like they're never actually giving you stuff that's actually going to get you over that hump. Whereas what I'm doing is I'm giving you like the best, the latest research, the absolute best information that you can possibly find out there to try and develop your edge. Yeah, it's complicated stuff. It's stuff that people don't understand, and it's stuff that people don't want to understand. So let me show you this. Let me show you something here that I found extremely disappointing yesterday. I'm back up to 76, by the way. So here's our video about the inelastic markets hypothesis. So you can see when we first put it out, people were really interested in it, but it's kind of just flatlined as a regular video. So the algorithm isn't picking it up. I don't think that the thumbnail is very good because the impressions click-through rate never got above 5%. But when you come down into the engagement, what's this? Okay, so the intro is not too bad. We got 67% retention off of the 30 seconds. So my goal was to increase the retention on that beginning part of the video, and I think that we did that. But then when we come down into here, we can see that like 10% of our users drop off at this one point in the video. So what's going on at that one point of the video? Let's see. Doesn't really mean all that much. It's not an accurate reflection of fundamental value. Instead, it changes according to the whims of current order flows, which makes trying to hold the market to some sort of probabilistic rule about where it tends to turn becomes a foolish proposition. If the impact of order... So do you see what happened there? Do you see what happened there? As soon as I use this research to explain to people why their short-term technical analysis is useless, they all stop watching. Because they don't want to give up on the idea of relying primarily on short-term technical analysis. Even though every piece of evidence that we have on this subject says that it just doesn't work. You know? So I found that a little disappointing. But that's like a double-edged sword. It's like one thing is like the content that people are providing out there. I don't think it's really doing justice to the community out there. But then the other side of it is that the kind of content that they really need, the audience doesn't want to watch. And you wonder why the retail trading is in the situation that it is, right? I appreciate you guys that are here and you understand and you've understood this, and you know, they already knew the odds. Well, but I don't think that's true, because the vast majority of them still believe that it works, right? Because what I'm telling you is technical analysis doesn't work. This is why technical analysis doesn't work. Like think about it. Let's come back to it. Like for instance, right here. Okay. In the S&P 500 right now. Okay. The contention with support and resistance is that buyers want to buy down here and sellers want to buy down here. And so it can't get through this point, and that's why it turns back around. But once we understand that markets are inelastic, what are we going to find out? If a buyer wants to buy from here, they can very easily push through this level, because it just, all that matters is whether he has more buys, right? And the impact that he is going to have on the markets is going to be super extreme. So if all of a sudden I decide that at 41.70 I want to buy, it doesn't matter that it pivoted here. It literally doesn't matter. If all other things being equal, I'm the only person executing a meta order, it's going to go through it. It's going to go through it. And that's why these support and resistance zones aren't reliable enough for you to get a real edge from them. This is the whole premise. The whole premise that you just buy, you just sell it here and you just buy it here. That's not the way that it works. There's not enough liquidity for them to do that. The reason that it does this is because somebody was selling through that whole thing. Generally speaking, that and just the noise of the market. But a move, especially this right here, especially this initial buy right here, somebody big was buying there. Somebody big was buying there. Period. And guess what? The fact that he's buying makes everything else irrelevant, because his impact is so extreme. The impact of orders on markets is so extreme that all of this past place that it turned around last time, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't understand. How do people not see that? Does that, am I not explaining? Do I need a better explanation here? Or is it just that people don't want to believe it? They just don't want to believe, because it seems to me that people just don't want to believe it. No. The dollar is looking super strong here right now, by the way. There you go. You want views or you want to actually teach you? I'm not going to get views by feeding you bullshit. Well, let me I'll rephrase that. I make some videos about monitors and things that people are interested in, but I'm never going to just create content for the sake of creating, telling you what you want to hear. If it's false, right? If it's false, but or it's just not too useful, you know. But what the way that I'll generate views is more off of the computer hardware and the software and the things that everybody has to look at for trading and the current news. Anyways, I've gone over. It is time for me to get going. Actually, teaching the views to come. Well, we'll see. That video, I got to tell you that the inelastic markets hypothesis is the single most profound, most useful piece of information that I think that one could ever get, because it is an explanation for why markets behave that they do, and almost everything else, just like that traditional finance has been based on the efficient market hypothesis, which is false. The inelastic hypothesis, which has been backed up by a considerable amount of evidence, has profound impacts on everything else about the markets and how you'll want to trade and stuff. And it's the single best piece of information that I can give you. So I've given you guys the best stuff. I really have. Now the goal is get the views and send people over that way, and present that information in other ways. We make other videos about the inelastic market hypothesis that might appeal in different ways. That's another thing we got to do. All right. I got to go. Don't blow your accounts, guys. Stay profitable, friends.